All right, this is our forearm stretching routine. So Evan's going to hop down. First thing we're going to do is we'll put our hands flat with our fingers pointing straight ahead. And all he's going to do is we're going to keep a neutral spine here, and all he's going to do is rock forward, get a good stretch here on his flexors. All right, he's going to rock back. He's going to hold that for about 30 seconds. Okay, once he's done with that, he's going to flip his hands around. Okay, good neutral spine again. He's going to rock forward. Okay, it's just another way to stretch the flexor muscles of the forearms. Okay, so those are your two forearm stretches. All right, guys, now we got our pec stretch. Okay, so I see a lot of people do this incorrectly. I just want to make sure that we know what we're doing. This isn't the greatest angle for this, but we're going to try it out anyway. Okay, so when we do our pec stretch, we want our arms straight. Okay, we want it at a 45-degree angle, either on the wall or in a door frame. And what we don't want to do is drive that shoulder forward into the anterior capsule of our shoulder. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're stretching our pec and we're keeping that in a straight line with our hands. So Evan is going to demonstrate it here for us, just on a wall. Okay, so we got a nice straight line. Again, you can't necessarily see it correctly or fully, but we got a nice straight line here, and he's getting a good stretch to his pec minor, and even sometimes you might feel it in your bicep here as well. But you notice he's not rocking forward and driving that shoulder out front. Okay, so he's making sure that he's actually stretching the pec muscle and not anterior gliding out front and disturbing some of the bicep tendon. Okay, so from there, he's going to turn his back to you, put one arm up on the wall, he's going to sit back and down, and now we're stretching out our lat. Okay, we're stretching our lat here. You can, if you like, come around and kind of pull the scap around a little bit, just get a little bit extra stretch. But again, we're just trying to stretch the lat here. You're probably going to get a little bit of the the long head of the tricep as well. All right, we're just going to hold each one of those for about 30 seconds on our front line. All right, now we're going to go to the cross-body stretch. Okay, this is pretty simple. We're just trying to stretch the backside of the shoulder. Okay, it's mainly one of your main decelerators when a lot of people get tight. So Evan here is going to stretch it. Okay, he's going to try to go kind of above 90 degrees. Okay, a little bit above parallel to the ground. He's going to hold that. Then he's going to go parallel to the ground with his arm. And then he's going to go below parallel. Okay, so each one of those stretches kind of the same spot, but a little different angles, really kind of help open the back of the shoulder up. Sideline snow angel. Okay, so Evan's going to hop down. This is great to try to get some upper rotation and stretch out the lat a little bit on our throwing side. So Evan's going to start with his thumb down right behind his hip, okay, right behind his glute. He's going to rotate as he comes up. He's going to rotate his thumb. And now he's going to try to touch his thumb to the ground here, okay? Notice we're getting a lot of upper rotation here. It's a pretty good lat stretch. He might actually be feeling a little bit in his pec and his triceps. He's kind of a muscular guy, so he's probably going to feel it a little bit more than somebody who is generally a little bit looser. But as you can see here, he's getting a really good stretch, a lot of good upper rotation. He's getting some movement here in the back of the shoulder and then back down. Okay, this is really going to help us get up and rotate and upwardly rotate the back so we can get up above the ball, behind the ball on our pitches. Calf stretch, pretty simple. What we're going to do, we're going to use just a foam roller. You can really use anything that kind of elevates your toes. You can use weights, you can use a baseball bat, you can use a little step, okay, whatever it is. We're just going to use the foam roller here. And Evan's just going to put his toes up on it. He's just going to rock forward, okay? You can lock your leg out. You might feel it in one area. Or you can bend your knee and try to push your knee in front of your toes. You might feel it a little bit lower and get a little bit more dorsiflexion in our ankle there. Okay, so I'll tell a lot of my athletes, just kind of feel it out wherever you're tight. That might be it for you. That might be it for somebody else. Okay, we just want to try to get a little bit more dorsiflexion, loosen up our calf, loosen up our ankles. All right, we're going to go band hamstring stretch. So pretty simple. I'm just going to hop down. Guys, you can use, we've got stretch bands here. If you don't have it, it's not a big deal. You can use a towel. Okay, you can have somebody assist you in this. We're just going to lay back. Pretty simple. We'd like to try to keep the knee straight if we can. Again, I'll tell our athletes, you know, you might have a hamstring you might be a little bit tighter up and higher in the hamstring, so you might want to bend your knee, pull it a little bit closer to you. You might want to keep your knee straight if it's more in the belly, whatever it is, okay? So just try to figure out a couple different angles when you do this, okay? I'd like for it to be here, and then on the side, just inside your midline, okay? So this is a little bit more on the outside, and then out to the side there, okay? So I'd like for it to be all three directions, and if one feels a little bit better with your athlete than the other, stay there a little bit longer than you normally would. All right, kneeling quad stretch, okay? This is one of my favorites, okay? It's going to stretch our quad. Our quad passes over our hip joint and our knee joint, okay? Just doing a regular quad stretch, you're getting one joint, just doing a regular hip flexor stretch, you're getting another joint, but this really kind of incorporates both joints with the quad that's so long and passes both of them. So what we're going to do is going to hop down. Okay, normally we'll use it up against the wall or have like a box or a bench or something here, but just for viewing purposes, we're just going to use a foam roller switch legs. So you can't see that side. Okay, so what we want, we'll reach back. Right now it doesn't necessarily matter which hand you grab with. Okay, I actually want to grab with this hand because I'm going to show you a progression. So what we'd like, okay, we want to make sure that we're posteriorly tilted, okay? So our hips, we're going to posteriorly tilt, we're going to flex our abs, we're going to flex our butt, we're going to keep a neutral spine. That puts us in a really good position, okay, to stretch out the entire length of the quad and the hip flexor, okay? If you don't do that, you're really just kind of pushing against the anterior portion of the hip and stretching the capsule and not the actual muscle. So from here, once we progress, we want to reach up, and now we're really stretching out this entire side, okay? We're getting some upper rotation, we're getting some reach there, we're stretching out the lat, we're stretching kind of the entire side of our body when we do this, okay? This is really, really important for our lead leg, okay, when we're pitching, all right? So for right-handed pitcher, it'd be your left leg, left-handed pitcher would be your right leg. It takes a lot of abuse slowing you down for 80 to 100 pitches, whatever you throw. So we really got to make sure we do a really good job, especially on that side, but on both sides, but especially on that side. All right, here's our frog stretch, all right? So Evan's going to hop down. It's one of my favorites here. Okay, so he's going to hop down. He's going to put his feet together. He's going to make sure that his spine is neutral, so he's going to put his back flat on the ground. And all we're going to do is just kind of let gravity work for us a little bit and just pull our knees down while we're stretching right there, okay? Pretty simple, but very effective. All right, guys, clamshells. We've talked about this in the past. It's one of our favorite exercises here. Okay, it's one of the most beneficial for both hitters and pitchers. Okay, we're talking about thoracic mobility. Okay, so when we're talking about pitching, right, we're talking about hip separation, shoulder hip separation. This is what's going to help with that. Hitting the same way, we're talking about hip and shoulder separation. So Evan's going to hop down. Okay, he's going to be on his side. He's going to have his knees stacked. Okay, you can put your hand. He's pulling his fist up, putting his hand between his knees. This is great. Because what it does is it aligns your spine. If he doesn't have his hand there, okay, his low back is actually twisting a little bit, and we want to try to neutralize that as much as we can. So we'll always have something between our knees, okay, whether it's our fist, whether it's we'll use maybe a little pad, we'll use a couple weights, kind of whatever it is, half foam roller. So he's here, okay, we'll see how good he is at this. So what he's going to do is he's going to try and keep this knee down on the ground, and this knee down on top of his hand. And he's just going to rotate. He's going to follow his hand with his eyes. What we want to try to do is put our shoulder on the ground. Okay, Evan obviously is a little bit tighter than we'd like him to be. Okay, so he's just going to hang out there. Then he's going to come back. Okay, he's going to go again, following his hand with his eyes. Okay, he's going to exhale, try to let gravity just kind of pull him down a little bit. You don't have to force it. And then back. Okay? But the main key here is, guys, to make sure that the bottom knee stays on the ground, the top knee stays on his hand. If he were to come here and put his back flat and his knee were to come up, we're not really doing a whole lot there. Okay? So he's going to do that. And we'll show you the next progression. So once your athlete gets good at that, we're going to add a foam roller on top. Okay? Again, you can use a med ball. We stack weights up sometimes. We use a dumbbell sometimes. Just kind of whatever you got there at your facility. Now, that knee's got to stay on top of the foam roller. See how much different it is. See how much further he's got now. Obviously, we wouldn't we wouldn't start here with them. We probably wouldn't go there with them yet. But just for teaching purposes, we want to show you what we're talking about. Okay, so he's going to exhale and just try to let gravity work for him a little bit. Not forcing anything, but making sure we keep that knee flat, going back. Okay, so clamshells.